Hi everybody, Robin back here again with more news. Last week, Toyota revealed the 9th generation 2025 model year Toyota Camry. This, of course, replaces the 8th generation Camry that's been with us since the 2018 model year. And while the styling is more evolutionary than revolutionary, what a Camry is and how it fits in the marketplace has changed significantly. First and foremost, the only engine that will be offered in the 2025 Camry will be a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that is also a hybrid. That's right, no gas-only 4-cylinder engine and no V6 at all. Toyota is putting in what it calls its 5th generation hybrid powertrain system into the Camry, and it will offer 225 total system horsepower in front-wheel drive model Camrys and 232 horsepower in all-wheel drive model Camrys. Yes, Toyota is still offering all-wheel drive on the Camry, but it is no longer a mechanical system. It is now an electric motor mounted on the rear axle that will deliver on-demand power to that axle. And in my opinion, this is the smart way to do it because it vastly simplifies the drivetrain components, fewer moving parts, and completely rids you of the drive shaft and gives you that space back that the drive shaft once occupied. Furthermore, all-wheel drive will now be available on every Camry trim. At the moment, all-wheel drive is only offered on the gas-powered 4-cylinder Camrys. And compared to that outgoing system, this one makes 30 more horsepower than before, which is a nice little jump. But when comparing front-wheel drive to front-wheel drive, we're actually losing 76 horsepower compared to the outgoing V6 front-wheel drive Camrys that we once had. As I mentioned, all-wheel drive is available on every trim. Those trims are LE, SE, XLE, and XSE. LE and XLE are considered the comfort trims. SE and XSE are the sport trims. Sport trims differentiate themselves stylistically with tweaks to the front end like functional air ducts and tweaks to the rear end like a faux diffuser. You'll also see dual exhaust tips. Inside, sport trims will get aluminum pedals at the floor and different materials on the seats. However, that does vary between the two different sport trims. And that's true of the wheel sizes. For example, the XSE rolls on 19s. Every new Camry, however, does get this nice new sharp-looking set of LED-only headlights. It's a narrow design that kind of blends into the top of the grille at the bottom, kind of going right into the center of the car with that blend, and then on top kind of just kisses the bottom of the hood. And the body in general is just more sculpted and a little bit sharper, and it has larger fender flares for both the front and rear axle compared to the outgoing model. It's definitely an improvement in styling, at least to my eyes. The 9th generation Toyota Camry also sees a fully expected set of screens and optional screens for the interior. The LE and SE models get a standard 7-inch digital instrument cluster, while the XLE and the XSE get a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster. It's a very similar story for the center console touchscreen. The standard screen size is 8 inches. The optional screen size is a much bigger 12.3 inches. And that latter screen includes wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and a wireless Qi charging pad as well. Dual zone climate control is standard on the Camry, and fully optioned versions of the car will see heated and ventilated front seats, laminated glass on the front doors to help keep out more wind noise, a 10-inch head-up display, and a panoramic sunroof. You know, earlier this year, Honda offered up its 11th generation Honda Accord, and it offered two different engines, a turbocharged 1.5-liter and a 2-liter hybrid powertrain. And it was really interesting to see because Honda said that half of its Accords going forward would be hybrids. What was lost in all that was the turbocharged 2-liter engine that made 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. That base engine came from the Honda Civic Type R, and it was a wonderful, wonderful engine. Some people did miss the V6 that Honda offered 2 generations ago, but the 2-liter turbo did do a lot to make up for that. But now that that was gone and it was only the 1.5-liter hybrid, the story of the Accord had changed. Here, Toyota seems to have taken the same road in the same direction, but traveled further down it. You now only get hybrid power. That's your only option. And we have to say, especially given the size of Camrys these days, that the amount of power really is only adequate. But there is a lot about Toyota's strategy with the Camry that makes sense to me. You do have an option. You can choose between front or all-wheel drive. That's useful, especially for people that live in the northern states like I do. And the fact that Toyota offers all-wheel drive on every trim level, so every your price point, that makes even more sense. The major caveat to all of these things is, of course, driving feel. Honda Accords have long been very strong for a family sedan, offering good driving feel. And the 11th generation Honda Accord definitely delivers there. It feels really good behind the wheel. But Toyotas have been catching up. The gap has been narrowing between the two. And for this 9th generation Camry, Toyota did once again tweak the suspension, and they did talk about trying to make a better balance between handling and comfort, which makes me think that it is tightening the gap a little bit further. And if the latest suspension tuning does go in that direction and help the Toyota feel a little bit better behind the wheel, having all-wheel drive might give it that extra little nudge to really win me over. Toyota says to expect the 2025 Camry to come out spring of 2024, so I'll have to wait till much closer to then to actually know and get a feel. And as that date nears, I'm sure more information about the Camry will come to us, like pricing, fuel economy, and those types of things. So I'll be sure to share as I learn more. Also, about a year ago, I did drive a version of this powertrain in the Toyota Venza. That is also hybrid only, 2.5-liter, etc., etc., etc. So I have a link to that review in the description if you're at all curious. Okay, that's all the information I have right now. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.